Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Premiership Rugby Preview Show with BetUK.com. My name is Alex Payne. It's a great pleasure to be riding in the sidecar of the Lord once again on this week's show, which is a fairly sort of apt way to open. What have you come as this week? Urban Lord.
I feel that I've been homeschooling that much. I'm so down with the kids that it's just taken over my wardrobe now.
I love it. I love the fact you're combining snapback, if that's what I think they're called, with some Lynx golf clubs on your T-shirt. It's a sort of a melange of middle age and youth.
It's all Mizuno, maybe. It's all Mizuno. Don't
Mizuno
links to it.
Yeah, good. Well done, Mizuno. Any news? What's happening? Both kids still alive? You haven't yet put them in a box in the attic?
No, I'm so over it though. I'm just counting 6 more schooling days. That's all I'm counting.
We'll get there. We'll be
until
right.
she's going to run to school on the first day as punishment.
Sunday night at 8 p.m. She'll be waiting by the gates.
It's difficult when you're sort of trying to team up English today, writing a story about how a turtle got its shell and it's been chased by a shark into a small cave, and it turns out that it wasn't a cave. It just swam that far into it. It was in a cave that turned into a shell. It's genius stuff.
I liked that one. 3 friends sharing a shell. I can't remember what it was. I don't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Unless your teeth are really fixed in, you ain't ever going to do that. 3
friends sharing a shell. This is a book. I used to quite enjoy 1 or 2 of my kids' books at my level. Right, let's make some money because
we've been so good at it.
Yeah, I know. We haven't yet hit a home run, but we are playing some shots. That is, we've all got to agree with that. If you don't know by now, where have you been? This is not our main show. You might be surprised to hear that. It's a little accompaniment to the main pod, which of course you can get by downloading from wherever it is you do your downloads. Or you can watch it here on YouTube. Tap in Good, Bad and Rugby, and it will be delivered unto you. This week, actually, we had a really good yarn about all things French rugby with the great Ben Kaiser, who is our newest member of the team, and it's very, very nice to have him on board as well. So it's a gentle ramble. It was really good fun, actually, talking about all things French rugby, and it's good to have French rugby firing again. Over the next 15 minutes or so, though, we're going to take you through a few tips ahead of the weekend's Premiership Rugby. I mean, do we want to have a quick reflection on where we are right now?
Sure, why not?
We're tracking. Well, how are we doing? How are we feeling about it all? You are a better gambler than I am, but even you are finding it quite hard to find the middle of the bat at the moment.
I mean, it's if we take last week, for example, we said from the offset it was going to be a hard week to predict, and you could tell that from the results. 2-point swing in the Bath Gloucester game, with that being a 78th minute kick to swing that in Bath's favour, having Gloucester just taken the lead in the 75th minute. So, then you look at, obviously, we got the 31-point clawback or whatever it was from Irish to get back to Bristol. I was, as I said, on the main show, I was sort of smoking a Cuban thinking my Bristol -6.5 was easy peasy. Then within 15 minutes, suddenly I've lost money. So, I think the only one that we got right, which was easy, was the Leicester. We thought Leicester were just on a turn of form, and Wasps are struggling a little bit. But then again, Exeter Northampton, 12-13, the kick at the end, the kick that shocked the world that never happened. I mean, that's what. How can you predict when it comes down to a red clock gone red kick and he makes a move, they charge it down, they kick, you're frustrated if you've got Bristol, and you're over the moon if you've got Northampton. So, I mean, when it's going that late and deep into games, you've got no chance, really. Right. The only winners are the bookies. Well done, BetUK.
Well done, BetUK.com. And talking of Reds, there were a hell of a lot of cards last week as well. I've actually sold those this week. I think everyone will tidy up their act a little bit.
I've spoke to our social guys. I'm going to do something on the breakdown. I'm going to
get
some footage and just things how
I love the fact that you are going to educate us on the breakdown ahead of a man who played in the back row for England on 77 occasions. It wasn't really his forte. Hit things, sure. Get in the way of traffic. Ideal. Talk us about through the breakdown, not so much.
Yeah, look, we talked about it, didn't we? About the options, and you came up with the old school where no one actually went for ball. It was all about stepping over, and I think there's there's some balance between the two where I don't want to get rid of a jackler, but I also don't want people flying into the back of people's necks and shoulders and crocodile rolling. So there are ways of doing it, and I'm hopefully, with the help of some video and everything, I'm going to demonstrate that.
Oh, I look forward to that. We're going to get the girls involved and have a little sort of demo in the garden.
Yeah, can you imagine crocodile rolling Mia?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I want Zed in a sort of second bridge over the ball.
Well, she's unmovable now. Belly,
That's very true. That is very true. That's a double team. Let's get into the details then. Don't forget, BetUK.com are the official Premiership Rugby Predictor app. They're offering over 14 grand worth of cash prizes throughout the 2020-21 season. As you make your picks, you're going to be awarded points for each correct result that you choose. The player with the most accrued points at the end of the season wins a fantastic 5 grand cash prize, free to play. You never need to miss out. The official Prem Rugby Predictor app is available exclusively on BetUK.com's own app for players aged 18 and over. It's on iOS and Android. Tournament 3 is underway. Do get involved if you're not already. It's very easy to do just that. Download the BetUK.com app. If you haven't, register. If you have, log in. Select the Premiership Rugby Predictor game from the menu. Make your prediction of a home win, a draw, or an away win for all 6 of the weekend's games. Click submit, and fingers crossed you have picked the winners. T's and C's apply. 18s and over only. Please be gambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly. Let's get into, I can't believe actually we're in round 10 already. We're coming up to the turn for home. Let's start though with Sale against Exeter. Both obviously looking to bounce back after defeats. Both a month ago were absolutely flying. And the Sharks, actually amazingly, looking to avoid consecutive home losses in the Prem for the first time in 4 years. It's amazing how quickly these things can turn for Alex Sanderson. 2 weeks ago, he was walking on water and now he's got his gumboots stuck a bit. How are you looking at this one?
Yeah, the biggest worry for me around Sale is their ability to score at the moment. They really making it seem like hard work. Obviously they got over against Sale, but they got over against Quins, but it's only 12 points. If you go down their route, they aren't a high-scoring team at the moment. So that would be my issue coming against quite a sticky defence in terms of Exeter. Exeter aren't their usual motoring, top gear cruising, but they are a team that gets things done. We were saying that about Sale 3 weeks ago, but still saying they're not that impressive, but they were in 4th and they were just getting wins. Whereas now it's slowly the performance has flipped and they're not getting the results, and then suddenly it's a lot harder to turn that momentum. So, I'm looking at Exeter's just going to grind, even though it's away. I think that they're just going to get up there and grind them down, and they'll get the win. I mean, what was going on with Exeter's pitch, by the way? Why is it in such bad? Why was it such bad nick? I don't quite understand that. So they'll be quite happy to probably play away Exeter. They've got a decent track. So, yeah, I think Exeter just they aren't playing how they would want to play. I think at the moment, but off the back of that loss on the weekend, I think I fancy them to go up and correct that wrong. But again, I think this is a hard one to call.
Agreed. In fact, it's so hard to call. I've missed one. I've just literally put my hands up and let the ball go straight through.
You didn't go for your usual. That's normally you've got draw written all over.
Well,
it.
Yeah. I mean, that
just
would be
imagine
where I would
if BetUK had given you your 2 draws, you would have been very excited on the weekend. You would have thought,
I know.
That Bath game could have gone there. And then obviously the
Irish Bristol.
Bristol.
I just don't want to start my ACCA with a game which I simply have got no idea what I'm doing with. I want to sort of ease into it. So I've left it alone, and you're going solo on this one. I think a draw, Sale Exeter, is about as good a punt as you could have on that one right now. Yeah. I think the other thing quickly is I just wonder how... I wouldn't imagine Exeter are that fussed right now. Do you know what I mean? They're sort of... you said about France the other day in the main show, sometimes you have to lose a game or two that you're expected to win in order to learn from it and kick on. And I just sort of wonder if off the back of the season they've had quite a few away with international duty at the moment. Actually, Rob Baxter, obviously it won't be delighted, but he'll be like, let's get through this period. Yeah. And then we can kind of go again out the other side.
Yeah, I think they're definitely just digging in at the moment, and they're going to have to do something to sort of refresh their guys and get them rejuvenated. But at the same time, you don't want to be giving too many away, and they will still want to have control of that semi-final when it gets round to it, which I think they will be able to do no matter what. But you don't want to let too many slip, do you?
Game 2, Briz who are entertaining, certainly. I'm not sure it's much fun being a fan at the moment. The heart rate certainly will be leaping all over the place. Taking on Leicester, history, if that's your thing, it's an absolute home banker. Bristol's previous 2 home games against the Tigers, 31 and 37-point wins, respectively. That kind of thing was never said 10, 15 years ago about the Tigers. Astonishingly, though, Leicester also, and this wasn't said very often either, have won 2 of their last 24 Prem games on the road. Home banker, or are Bristol just got a couple of wobbles on the wheels at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, and are Leicester just turning a slight corner as well in terms of the results that they're getting? I think I can't tell you how many tries they got from the forward pack on the weekend, but obviously they scored 27 points. It was a comfortable win against Wasps. I think they've sort of turned a little bit of a corner in terms of how they're playing. Obviously, they lost to Quins in a highly entertaining game, but scored 24. Then they put 41 on Worcester the week before. So I do still think Bristol are going to win this, but I think it's going to be a bit closer than the last 2 times. I think Leicester are a completely different team to what they were last year and the year before, where they were terrible. Whereas I think they're going down there not terrible. But I've had a little look at the Leicester plus 10.5. as quite a nice bet. I think Bristol win. I think it'll be quite open again, but I think Leicester will be closer than 10.5.
I think you've nailed it. That's exactly what I would go on. I think if you're using that wheel nut analogy, if Bristol's are a bit loose right now, Leicester are beginning to tighten theirs up a little bit. You're just beginning to see Borthwick's influence coming through, but I'm not sure they're ready yet to win at Bristol. So I've gone with them as well. Game 3 in the Northeast for what could be another away banker, although you can never write off that Kingston Park factor. Newcastle hosting Quins, who've won 6 in a row away from the Stoop, scoring an average of 36 points. You talk about the post-coach bounce back. I mean, Quins have just sort of found something and injected something into their fuel that is really seeing them motor at the moment. Is that enough, though? The old adage about never playing outside the M25, is that enough to see them all the way up to the Northeast and win?
I just think they're bubbling at the moment, I think. And with the type of players that they have, we talked about it last week, when they're on this sort of form, it's going to take a monumental effort. They're going up to a pitch where they're guaranteed good footing. The only downside is going to be for them is a massive wind or rain, both quite confidently could be there.
The 16th and 17th man for the Falcons.
Yeah, but if it's anywhere near a normal day, I think they're just too hot at the moment. I think Quins are one of the best teams to watch when they're in this sort of mood. Brownie's niggly and playing really well. Obviously, Danny Care's playing really well. That lid is flowing so well in the wind. I mean, it will look fantastic. Well, it'll be a good test of the job to see if it can stay on.
That's very true. That's very true. Get a proper endorsement if you can keep it all in place up there.
Yeah, it's going to be its first proper test. So now and then, you look at Don Brad Marchant's been playing well. Esther Hazen. Is it Esther Hazen? No.
Yeah. Yeah,
it is Esther Hazen. Yeah, they're all playing well, bubbling around, as well as Marler's his niggly best self that he was last weekend. So, yeah, I think this is a Quins win. That's where I'm pinning my stripes.
That's where you and I split. I'm going Newcastle to rediscover. I think what they were doing early on in the season.
You think a bit of freshness having not played last week?
I think a bit of freshness. I know he wouldn't, but I think there's always something in the game for Dean Richards in this one.
Yeah.
And I just think Newcastle have got a little something about them this year. I just think that they possibly have got enough just to quietly get a job done on Quins. But it's nothing more really than a hunch than a scientific pick, that one.
Haven't won since the start of January though, have they?
Got to break it at some point.
Nice comeback.
I think Newcastle are. I think they've got a bit of substance to them. It's not like they're unraveling. I don't think they've just not necessarily been at their best. And I think a break. Yeah, I think we'll just see them eke it. We shall see. Wasps Irish. My love affair with Irish continues. I've picked them to beat Wasps, and I've done that because I think although they were a bit, they set themselves a hell of a challenge last week. I don't see them throwing another couple of intercepts. And I do think the confidence from hauling that one back will really fill their sails coming into this one. I don't know whether you would agree with that or whether you think Wasps are going to find what they're looking for.
We've both got a little fancy on Irish, and I think it's justified. I think, you watch that comeback on the weekend, and even though I didn't enjoy it because I did have money the other way, but I still enjoyed their fight back. I enjoyed Nick Phipps' performance when he came on and how much he picked up the tempo. So I've gone with, I first of all went Irish plus 5.5, just to give myself a little bit of leniency, but then I've actually gone Irish win as well. So
I would just also say that there's obviously some very, very sad news around Gary Halpen, who was a great exile in the not too distant past, and I think probably can lay claim to the greatest try-scoring celebration of all time when he scored against the All Blacks.
Double things up.
The old double finger gun salute on the run back. But what a man he was, and a really strong part of Irish's history. And I wonder whether they'll have a little nod to him as they run out on the weekend. Yeah. Game 5, we've both gone exiles in that one. Game 5, and if the form book was pointing towards the scenario in which both teams could lose, it might well point to the game between Gloucester and Worcester. Warriors have won just one of their previous 12 away. Gloucester have lost 4 in a row at home and 8 of their last 11 there. You are going to go with?
I am sticking with my boys to just get the shit show on, get the train back on the track somewhere. At the moment, it's in I don't know. It's like at the moment it's like in Blazing Saddles where they're in the quicksand on the rail thing and they're trying to get out and they need someone to come and pull them out. And this is the game to try and pull them out of that mire and get them back on the track. So well milked by the Bath player who I can't remember who got hit off the ball, but they're close, Gloucester, and I'm going to stick with them. And I think they're going to get this job done, especially at home and against Worcester, local derby. This is the one that they've got to get right.
Finally, I would go along with all of that. I think this is Gloucester's day. Both gone Gloucester to finally snap the losing run. I would say, though, just quickly on that, what a capture of Willie Hines for Worcester.
Yeah, I haven't actually rung Willie yet to see if there was anything untoward there. I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? At 34, it's really sort of where a club looks at what's behind him and do they back what's behind him. And he adds that experience level that, Gloucester do need, but also that Worcester will benefit from. So interesting. I think it's great for Worcester. My first instinct, it's a shame for Gloucester to lose him, but I also can understand why it might have happened if they think they can. Is Varney going to be the future? I don't know. That's a question they've got to ask, I suppose.
We shall see. Saints against Bath, game 6. Saints looking to build on their win against the Chiefs last week. 220 tackles down in the southwest. That takes something out of you. And Bath, Bath won a couple back-to-back now, but without necessarily lighting the afterburners. Both of these two just quietly, you know when teams go sort of under the radar a little bit, both sort of seem to be under the radar, but doing what they need to do. But the winner will be...
Northampton will win this. I've got no doubt of it. I think they've just got a bit more about them. Even though, as you said, Bath have had some win. I don't watch them and go, they're close to, this clicking. I look at them and see quite a few issues. They obviously against Sale, with how many tackles they made against Sale, they shored up their defence. But then, it was a lottery, red cards and everything that went on in the Gloucester game. It was still could have quite easily gone either way, and Gloucester aren't playing the best sort of rugby by any means. I think you're going in against a Northampton team that is in good form and looking to move up the table and doing a pretty good job at doing it. So I think I'm so confident I would even like Northampton minus 5.5.
I love that there's absolutely no doubt Northampton will win this one, which I think was a similar statement you made when no doubt that Sale will win this one and Bath go up and just play like the Harlem Globetrotters. So just a minor asterisk against it. Yeah. I've gone Saints as well. I just think Saints have got just a steelier underbelly at the moment. And Bath, brilliant against Sale, lucky against Gloucester. That yo-yo is just, it's too inconsistent to back, I think, in a game like this. So I've gone Bath as well. Interesting. What we do know, as a fan, as a bookie, it's a brilliant league right now because Acker's basically your best friend. But as a fan, it is giving you all sorts of storylines, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a roller coaster. I mean, you going, well, unless you Gloucester, it's just pretty bad. But generally, it's a roller coaster of why, I mean, for a Bath fan, they're going up to go, oh, we've got no chance of winning this. And then you're like,
yeah,
hang on, who's playing right now? And then the next week you go, oh my God, we can't get over the game line. We can't do this. We can't do that. So yeah, it is. I've never seen it like it, where it's that hard to predict. Form seems very temporary at the moment. Everyone seems to hit a little wall of fatigue or just a little lull here and there, and it's not predictable. It can come after a huge victory, and suddenly the next week it's flat as a pancake. It makes it intriguing to watch of where things are going to go. But a nightmare to predict an ACCA for people to follow.
Hold on tight once again, everybody. Let's have your recommended bets for this round of games, please.
So I've done two, which one's been boosted. So the straight one is Exeter, Bristol to win, Quins to win, Irish to win, Gloucester to win, and Northampton to win.
Yeah.
And they're all sort of favourites. So that's boosted to 10-1. But then just to
you've been boosted to 17-1.
Oh, 17-1. Sorry.
Lucky.
Well done. Luckily, you read the WhatsApp group. And then the other one that I did was Exeter to win, Leicester plus 10.5, Quins to win, Irish to win, Gloucester to win, Northampton minus 5.5, and that'll get you up to 26-1.
That's not bad. Yeah. I've actually gone a game less than you because I've left the Sale Exeter game. So I've gone Bristol, Irish, Newcastle, Gloucester, and Northampton. And that's been boosted to 43 for 2, which is not an odd you hear very often. I've read it as 43 for 2 because I've been watching the cricket earlier. 43 to 2.
Well, no, isn't that like 55 for 8 or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 55 to 8 all out. But 43 to 2. When do you ever hear an odd like that? It's a really odd one. But anyway, tuck in. It's quite juicy, that, particularly with a game less. But I imagine I can't see where I'm suddenly getting so much more value than you are. I presume it's Newcastle.
You're probably getting it.
Irish and Gloucester.
Irish, you're definitely getting it. But then I've got Gloucester and I've got Irish.
Anyway, perhaps they just like me more and therefore.
Yeah, no, you'll be getting it at Newcastle because I think Quins were quite heavy favourites.
Good. Have a nibble. Come on in. The water's lovely. As we say every week, either come with us or bet against us.
We're generally bet against us.
Generally bet against us. Yeah, we are showing you how not to do it. The other thing I actually wanted to keep an eye on, but I haven't got the prices for, are total tries this weekend. There's that one weekend in the year where it pops.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting quite close to that. And I also would be selling cards this week as well, I think.
Are you saying that the rest have gone, had a little, come on, let's calm down, will you?
I think there's probably a little bit of that. I think there are those statement weekends for the referees. We had one, 2-3 years ago, around tip tackles, and it sort of finished 5-a-side on each game. Yeah. And then everyone kind of calms down. And the players sort themselves out a bit as well. Yeah. So
sometimes nice, isn't it, to just give the players a little bit of a...
Yeah.
Come on, let's look at this because you're way off.
Back to what is it this afternoon? Double geography and a little bit of home economics.
No, hopefully we're not. Oh no, it's only 2:00. Damn it, we're not near the end of the schooling day. It's currently maths at the moment, but I think maybe it's a sport afternoon. I don't know, or something.
That is it for our BetUK.com Premiership preview show for another week. Hopefully our tips might be of some use to you. Who knows? Don't forget the main show this week, in bold and italics, is with Ben Kayser diving into the French revival, asking what makes Antoine Dupont tick, assessing why Sean Edwards has fallen in love with Les Bleus, and basically getting ready for Rugby World Cup 2023. See you on Wednesday with a cracker jack of a guest on the main pod. If you fancy your chances, pop in the comments who you think it might be. It's a real goodie. We'll be back for some more predictions in 7 days' time. From all of us, bye for now.